In this video, we will be talking about study permits and common refusals of student applicants in Canada. International students bring new ideas, foreign experience, and a global perspective with them to Canada. In addition to Canada's superb educational institutions, another reason that studying in Canada may be an attractive option for a foreign student is the possibility of future permanent residence. What are the process for obtaining a study permit? First, you have to be accepted for study at a designated learning institution in Canada. Then you need to obtain a letter of acceptance from that designated learning institution where you intend to study in Canada. When you get the letter of acceptance, you can then apply for a study permit and TRV if needed. You must pay application fee and biometrics fee for some. You must not also be inadmissible to Canada. The instruction guide for applying for a study permit or IMM 5269 and application forms are available on the IRCC website cic.gc.ca. The application package generally includes the following key forms: application for study permit made outside of Canada or IMM 1294, family information or IMM 5645, the document checklist or IMM 5483. Other forms must be completed as applicable, such as Statutory Declaration of Common Law Union or IMM 5409, Custodianship Declaration, Custodian for Minors Studying in Canada or IMM 5646, the Use of Representative or IMM 5476, Authority to release personal information to a designated individual or IMM 5475. Generally, processing times can range from a few weeks to several months, depending on the visa office. A study permit and a TRV will be issued together if the foreign national is from a visa-required country. The TRV allows the foreign national to request admission to Canada, and the study permit allows the foreign national to study in Canada after admission has been granted. If the applicant is a national from a visa-exempt country, then an electronic travel authorization or ETA will automatically be issued along with the study permit. For work and study permit renewal applications, which are processed from within Canada, the ETA will not automatically be renewed. As a result, if the foreign national would like to exit and re-enter Canada, she would need to apply for another ETA. According to the Immigration and Refugee Protection Regulations, an international student may be issued a study permit if it is established that he meets the basic criteria applicable to all temporary resident applicants as well as the criteria specific to students. Study permit requests can be made via the IRCC portal online or through a Visa Application Center or VAC. Officers will consider a variety of factors before deciding whether an applicant qualifies for a study permit. In addition to submitting the application forms and supporting documents, applicants must also present a letter of acceptance from the educational institution where they intend to study in Canada. The applicant must also receive Quebec Certificate of Acceptance or CAQ if they intend to study in Quebec. The applicant must also show proof of financial support, such as the applicant must be able to pay the tuition fees for the course or program that they intend to pursue. The applicant must be able to financially support themselves and any family members who will be with them during their period of study. And the applicant must be able to cover the transportation costs for themselves and any family members to and from Canada. The applicant must also pass the IRCC medical examination if required. A foreign national whose application has been approved will receive an approval letter or email which he must show to the port of entry officer upon arrival in Canada. The officer will examine the applicant and then issue the study permit. If the application is refused, the applicant will receive a refusal letter setting out the reasons for the refusal, such as the following: there are insufficient funds to support himself and any family members. the officer is not satisfied of a genuine intent on the part of the applicant to study, or that the applicant will depart Canada at the end of the authorized stay, or the applicant is inadmissible. It is up to the discretion of the immigration officer to approve your student visa application in Canada, and that is why it is best to understand the common reasons behind visa rejections in Canada. One of the most common reasons of refusals is whether you will leave the country at the end of your studies. The visa officers must trust the student will go back to his or her country of residence at the end of their authorized stay. If a visa officer questions this and denies approval of a visa, reasons may include your travel history if you have one, family ties in Canada and your country of residence, or your purpose of visit. In addition, it could have something to do also with your immigration status in your country of residence, your financial status, or your previous history in Canada. It is important to remember that a student visa is just temporary, which means it has an expiration date. Another common reasons for refusal for student visa applications in Canada is financial reasons. As part of the Canadian visa application process, the applicants are required to submit a bank certificate or bank statement. This is the type of document that will provide evidence that the individual can support himself or herself while studying in Canada. When you get a refusal due to these financial reasons, it may include factors such as the student's ability to pay for the trip, to pay the tuition fees, and to support himself or herself while studying in Canada. The third most common reasons of visa rejections are the issues with travel or identity documents. It is very important to submit all of the appropriate documentation. This will include your valid passport, your recent photographs, and the properly filled out application forms. Through these documents, the visa officer must be able to identify whether or not you are admissible to Canada. That is why it is always best to ensure you have all sections of the document filled out clearly so it is easy to read. And finally, the last most common reasons of refusals for your visa application to Canada is your academic performance. Visa officers also seek consistency in courses and performance, and they recognize your major deviations through a student academic studies. Your good grades are also a key factor in visa approval. So this is including your language ability shown in your IELTS score. With low grades and low scores, a visa officer may question your ability to cope with the English courses in Canada. It is important to recognize the process is not as simple and straightforward as it may seem. There are many things to consider and be careful with. However, if you keep these points in mind, your application process should be smooth. Thank you for watching this video. If this is the first time you're watching and you have learned about student visa application in Canada, or you would like to see more about pathways of how to immigrate to Canada, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video. Make sure you hit subscribe and click bell to turn your notification if you would like to know more. I will see you in my next video next week about how to make sure you can address student visa refusal and find out other best pathway for permanent residency. Click now on the button below and subscribe to my channels.